are we asking the wrong question? So instead of how do we adopt AI, should insurance leaders be asking, are our workflows ready for it? AI is not the starting point, workflows are. For insurance businesses, the real question is not whether AI is useful, but whether the business has the process clarity, SOPs, documentation, data structure, and the team alignment required to use AI meaningfully. So we are asking the right question or the wrong one. Welcome to Business Transformation with FBSPL, the Insurance Edition, the show where we sit down with the leaders shaping the future of the insurance industry and unpack what it actually takes to modernize, adapt, and grow in a business that's changing faster than ever. I'm your host, KB, and today's episode is all about a question every agency owner is quietly asking themselves right now. Is my business actually ready for AI or not? The real practical question of where artificial intelligence fits inside an insurance operation and how you prepare your people, your data, and your process for it. And I couldn't ask for a better guest to explore that with. Please welcome Brian Reimer. Brian is the CEO of Reimer Insurance Group, a family agency founded back in 1978 that's grown into a full-service operation spanning commercial lines, personal lines, and financial planning. What makes Brian's perspective especially interesting is the blend he brings to the table: a finance and investment background and an MBA from Wharton, in the hands-on reality of running a multi-generational family business that has to honor its root while staying ahead of the curve. Brian, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, KB. Excited to talk about AI with you.
Perfect. So, Brian, before we get into the AI side of things, you're running a business your family started back in 1978. What's your mantra of growing the business consistently and sustainably?
Well, it's being hyper-focused on our clients, first and foremost. We have a few core values that are really important to us. The first is family comes first in our environment. And that extends to our employees, making sure that they have the right work-life balance and they're able to be there for their families. But it also extends to our clients. We want to make sure that we're protecting their families first and foremost. Second thing for us is what we call continuous improvement. Each person on our team has individualized education goals that we want them to achieve, and we help them achieve it because a rising tide lifts all boats. As each person on our team gets better, our team as a whole improves. The third thing is what we call loyalty. And that means honoring relationships with our clients. Being there for them when they need them is kind of the minimum ask, but it's the hyper communication so that we're on the same page with all of the people around us so that when something comes up, we can troubleshoot it together and really partner in the right way. And the fourth thing for us sounds like it's a simple value, but it's always do the right thing. There are a lot of insurance agents there who may take a shortcut. For us, our reputation is so important and you can lose it in one instance. So if anyone on our team ever has a question on what the right thing is to do, raise your hand, ask the question, and we'll help guide you in the right direction. But what that means from a growth standpoint is that we're heavily reliant on our clients referring us new business. And that word of mouth is more powerful than buying 1,000 leads. So we're very grateful for the team that we have in place, both our employees and our clients.
Wow. So it's always kind of family first, people first, followed by high ethical values and loyalty and relationships built on trust versus cheap tricks. Amazing. And when you look at how the agency operates today versus even 5 years ago, what's changed the most about the day-to-day work of running an insurance business?
I think that it's different for each of the roles, but the general theme is that it's more advisory focused than pushing paper and data entry focused. So we've come a long way from a technology standpoint. We use the best-in-class agency management system. We have invested heavily in the right processes for our team and structured it the right way. That's constantly changing with the addition of new tools and technologies, but I'd say that it's night and day from an efficiency standpoint for our team.
Well, and of course, it's a journey from where you were and where you are, and there must be ups and downs in the business or the way things come at you. So when a business starts growing or when an agency starts growing, what usually breaks first?
It's a great question. Um, well, you really have three levels of what could break. You have the capacity of the team, you have the process, and then you had the leadership visibility. And what I would say is the thing that usually breaks first is the leadership visibility, because having someone on the team getting really busy on capacity side, maybe they stop documenting something a little bit less because they're super busy. And that doesn't come into light for a long time. And what I would say on the process side is usually the processes are built for scalability. But if you're asking the question of whether one really great hire can solve that problem, and the answer is yes, it's not a process issue necessarily. It's a person, a people issue, and that person's capacity level. So what I would say is the visibility from leadership is a critical piece that gets overlooked, and we have constant focus and guardrails on what we think are the key metrics that are important for us to keep track of.
Well, no, I can totally resonate with that, because when you are sitting at the top, you have the big picture vision of, or you should have the big picture vision of how the business is operating, because most of the team members, they have their blinders on, they have a specific duty and a task to achieve, so they might not be looking towards the big picture the way the owner can. But if that visibility is not there in the reports or in how the data is processed or how you see the output, I can see where it can take you. Perfect. uh, Now, coming to the AI side of things, so in your experience, how much of the AI conversation in insurance is driven by real operational need, and how much is driven by the fear of being left behind? I think there is a Gen Z terminology for that, FOMO. So, is there a FOMO, or is it really driven by the need of it?
It's a good question. Um, the answer is that there's absolutely a need for it, and there are three things that people are looking to solve. One is capacity without adding the headcount. The second is increasing your margins without increasing your prices. And the third is speed without errors. And underneath all three is the big wish that you want. And that's make the agency work with being less dependent on individual heroes.
Right.
There's this legacy of having superstars on the team that are carrying the weight of the agency, and that's not scalable. So that's what
Right.
you're where the real need is really empowering each of our people to be superheroes, and feeding it the right workflows and context with that are AI driven to be successful in that.
Wow. And I think, I can recall of this line by Elon Musk. I guess he was like, AI is not there to replace it, but AI is there to enable you, to make you more efficient. And the ones who replace you would be the ones who knows how to use the AI. So I think that's the better way to look at it. Uh, and so when you hear the phrase AI readiness as an insurance business owner, what does that actually mean to you? Is it a technology question, a people question, or something else entirely?
I'd say there's like four main questions as an agency that you would want to ask yourself to see if you're ready for AI. The first is, where does your information actually live? For us, it's between our AMS, our carrier portals, our shared drive, and the last place is actually in people's heads. So AI can solve for the first part, but not necessarily the last part. And that last part is really where having written workflows are super critical. The second question to be asking is, if your best account manager left tomorrow, could someone pick up that work on the next day based off of what you have documented? If the answer is no, you have a documentation problem, not an AI problem.
Right.
Third question I would say is, do you know how long your core workflows actually take today? So for example, how long does it take to do a certificate with your workflows? How long does it take to do inspection recommendation? How long does it take to do a proposal? Because if you don't know where you are today, you don't know how much of an impact you're making by rolling out this new technology tool. And that measurability is critical for you to make good decisions. And the last question you have to ask yourself is, does everyone have clear knowledge on who owns each step? Not which department, which person on the team. And with that, you're going to be able to roll out AI in a way that's best helpful for each individual person and role on the team.
Wow. A lot of good stuff here. So, and I would 100% agree with, all of this. And yesterday I did a LinkedIn post which was very similar to it. It was all about the businesses that are winning in this type of market aren't the ones they are doing things differently. It's just that they know how much time it takes to do what activity. And let's say if there is a quote request and it unusually unfortunately sits in the same pipeline where the service request is sitting. So you cannot expect a CSR to prioritize unless they know what are the benchmarks, what are the priorities. And if you're responding back to that quote in a 24 or 48 hours of timeline, you have already lost that business. So
Yeah.
I can totally align. So in a way, you're saying that are we ready comes before do we need AI? And so how do you know your workflows and data can even carry AI before you invest in it?
That's a good question. And I think you have to start small, right? Each standard operating procedure or workflow that you have, you need to take a step back and look at how each of them could benefit from integrating AI. And that starts with having very detailed workflows to begin with that lay out each step of the process. Everything's documented the right way. So I think that's like the baseline before you move forward with like a full end-to-end rollout of AI across the spectrum, right? Like start where what can be automated, get it automated. What can't be automated, you want to use the best labor force for that
Right.
task or that product. And then for anything above that, you're really relying on sound judgment and advisory services.
Wow. And what are those signs that an insurance business is trying to solve a process problem with the technology purchase?
Well, AI doesn't fix a process problem. It runs it faster. And in insurance, running a broken process faster, we call that an E&O. And E&O is errors and omissions. It's a professional liability claim, because if you're running a process and you're not picking up the things you're supposed to be picking up, and then you're providing bad advice because of that, it eventually catches up to you with an E&O claim.
Right. I always say to this, if the processes are broken, your AI would spread the chaos faster versus the other way around. So yeah. And let's say if an agency has years of scattered information across emails, AMS, spreadsheets, and carrier portals, where should a business owner start before thinking about AI?
Well, I would say you have to start with getting the right data placement first before you start bringing in AI. So first thing is one single system of record. For us, that's the AMS. We use Applied Epic, and that's like what runs our entire agency. It's not just like using Outlook as an email filing cabinet. This is where we have all of our client data. This is where our accounting lives. Everything is in our AMS. And I think if you have data all over the place, you're never going to be able to really harness the power of AI. The second item we kind of already spoke about, but it's the named ownership for each step of your processes. So if you have one department doing things totally differently in a different technology tool, you need to flag that and make sure everything is owned by each person on your team. Then you have to roll out the right documenting and naming discipline, because the AI can only retrieve the stuff that's actually findable. So put in standardization around that as part of your SOPs. And then you have to be able to tell your AI how you want things delivered. And having a template for that is critical, because otherwise you're going to have everyone using AI differently with different templates, and you're not going to have a consistent brand messaging. And honestly, that can also lead to E&Os when you don't have the right disclosures in place, you don't have the right checks and balances in place, and that's a problem. Right. And then the last piece I would say is just having the definition of what done looks like. And for that, that's where you need the human piece, because the AI is giving you the work, but the human is actually delivering the deliverable. And they are the professional service provider who's signing off on this work. That can be a recommendation on coverage limits, something that you wouldn't want AI to sign off on. That's where we're using our best professional judgment.
Wow. Now, that perfectly makes sense. And so, would you say in sensitive moments like claims, renewals, coverage discussions, or client escalations, how should AI support the professionals without weakening the relationship?
Well, I think AI can be helpful in doing a lot of the legwork, especially on claims. But I think that we need to be the people who are actually having those client conversations. Client doesn't want just like a generic email when they've had the worst day of their lives trying to get their business back together or their home repaired. They want to speak to a human. They want someone to hold their hand through the process. And there's no real replacement for that today. And nor would I want there to be, because that's an opportunity for you as an agency owner to build on the relationship and show them that you're there for them. That's how you differentiate yourself for everyone else. And that's how you make someone a client for life, is being there for them when you need them the most. But come prepared with all the tools and work that AI can solve for you, because the more prepared you are, the higher level of professionalism you have, and the more that someone's going to want to recommend yours or be confident in recommending your services.
That made me recall of case that I was reading about a couple of days back. So there's this organization. It deputed AI for the level one of support type of role. Where my shipment is and the kind of questions which can be answered generically. And then they trained their existing support staff to use AI and give consulting advice to their customer. So they built altogether a new revenue stream, and within a period of 6 months, they did 5 billion in new revenue. So, but that's a fantastic example of where AI can do wonders, and where the human in the loop is still necessary. So, thank you for that. Uh, Now, from a business owner's perspective, what should the leadership own in the AI adoption journey?
The standard. So what good looks like, and the fact that the standard doesn't drop because a machine helped. Um, that's number one. Number two, I would say, is the risk boundary. So what we will and won't use for this. There's certain things where I don't want AI to have any part of, and there's certain things where it's going to be super helpful. So laying that out for everyone on our team is critical. And then what I would also say is really important, and something that we've been really aggressive about, is having the leadership be the first users. And if I can demonstrate on my own accounts, it has a lot more credibility, and I'm able to direct it the right way. So I'd say leaders should really be using it as kind of like their pilot program for use cases, and seeking feedback from different roles in the team before they roll it out more broadly. But they've got to be integrated into the rollout process.
Right. And how do you do that without creating fear or resistance among the members?
Well, first you got to address those real concerns, right? Name the fear first. And in the first meeting, before anyone raises it, let them know that like nobody's being replaced. Yeah, if you don't say it, they'll assume the opposite, and their engagement with the tool will die.
Correct.
Then I think you have to be very specific about the actual answer. In our case, the constraint on this business is service capacity, for example, not payroll. And this raises the ceiling of each person can handle and moves them toward work and that requires their license and their judgment, that allows them to hopefully get paid more in the future because they become more valuable to our organization. And I think it's also helpful to start with the tasks they hate. like, not the task we necessarily want to automate, but like, let's find their pain points and, pre-fill the data on applications, or summarizing a 90-page policy document. Those are things that are like real opportunities to get that engagement. Right. And then we spoke about being very role specific versus generic. We have a rule that if an email can be sent to any one of our clients without it changing the message, then it shouldn't be sent at all. Today, we've got such an opportunity to personalize everything. And what we do is we treat the AI as a commodity. It's all about the context you're feeding it so that it can really support the function that you want it to achieve. And then I think there's this idea of having volunteers versus putting in company mandates.
Right.
Because not everyone's going to have the same sort of level of enthusiasm and excitement first. But
Right.
find the curious ones in each of your departments, make them power users, and let them produce the visible wins so that others on your team can see how cool it is. So
Wow.
like the peer-to-peer proofing, I
Right.
think is super helpful for the buy-in for our team.
Right. So make champions. And I love the insight that, if something generic is going out, it shouldn't be going out at all. I love this because that that totally makes sense. A lot of sense, actually. Good insight. Thank you. And what would you say? How should leaders think about the future? AI first, workflow first, or client first, or a balance of all three?
Well, 100% client first. Today, we are benchmarked against Amazon or a client's banking app. And people are asking for certificates and minutes, not after a full day. And that level of client service, user experience, I think is really, where the ultimate focus is. But those who are going to be successful with AI aren't going to be the ones who adopted it earliest. It's who documented their workflows the best. And because that compounds, right? Every quarter, it gets better and better. And because it can encode what it learned, and the documented agency is going to be so much more successful than an undocumented agency. The second differentiator I would say is whether leadership treated this as like an operating discipline or a purchase. Like just being feature rich is very different from having it ingrained in everything that you're doing. So integrating that into your documented processes is going to be super critical. And then third one is the hardest one. My dad has a saying that if he had patience, he would be a doctor. But patience here is really important. So like you have to have that measurable baseline, change one workflow at a time, and prove that it will be helpful for you for a long time. And the ones who are chasing like the big announcement of end-to-end rollout will have 3 abandoned platforms and a lot of frustration from people on the team who get bombarded with different tools. So I think, make a really good decision on how you're rolling it out and work, feverishly to make sure that it's successful. And there are a lot of great tools out there that can help you with that.
And I'll keep that line from your father. It's a good one to keep. Right. All right. On a fun side, what's one amusing or fun thing you have ever done with AI?
Ooh, that's a good question. I I'm on the board of a nonprofit, and one of the cool things that I had the opportunity to do was roll out an engagement tool for each of our board members in terms of attracting more corporate sponsors and how we systemize that for the nonprofits so that we can increase our budget and do some of the amazing work that we're focused on at a higher level has been, really fulfilling.
All right. And this one is my last one. So, for the business owner, I know I've kind of asked it in so many ways, but to sum it up, if if there's a business owner listening to this one right now who's about to sign a contract for an AI tool, what would you tell them to do first?
I tell them to stop asking which tool to buy and ask a different question. What does our best person in our agency do that nobody has written down? Go find that, write it down. That document is worth more than any subscription service because it's a thing that makes every tool you eventually buy actually work. And it's a thing that protects your agency if a horrible thing happens and that person isn't there tomorrow or they leave. Here's the test I'd give any owner listening. Before you spend $1, pick one workflow. Measure how long it takes today. Write it down. How is it supposed to work? Fix what's obviously broken. Then figure out how to bring AI into it. If you do those steps, you're going to be so much more successful up front.
Wow. Thank you so much for your time today, Brian. I loved the conversation, and I'm sure the audience would say the same. But it gives me a feeling that we should be doing this once again if you have some time. But thank you so much for today, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Thank you, KB. I had a great time. Always good getting together.
Perfect. Thank you.